Happy Thursday. How are you, Monique? You hanging in there? Thanks for sharing. I really appreciate that. I'm just hanging out, you know, just like everybody else with this little quarantine, just trying to keep my mind positive, staying uplifted. Thank you, love. I feel the love. So, without being able to go into the studio, bring live guests, like everybody else, I'm just being creative and just trying some new things. I'm actually working on another application because I would love to continue to do my interviews and just have people come on via another medium. So that's what I'm working on. When God gives you a purpose, purpose don't stop. Purpose don't quit. Purpose doesn't shut down like the city of Dallas because of the coronavirus. When you have purpose, you wake up with it. It's with you throughout the day. And when you have purpose, you don't sleep. So I'm just really excited. I've been holding in so much over the last week or so, as many of you are doing, and just processing what we're going through. Now, you know, here at Southern Girl Speaks, it's SouthernG.U.R.L, giving, understanding, real, and loving. And so that means that's your place to come from some encouragement, empowerment, motivation, and inspirement. And so as I've just been looking, first of all, I just want to know, give me some hearts. How are you guys feeling today? Y'all hanging in there? Keeping your spirits up? What's your favorite snack? Because I had to put the carbs down, okay? Oh, what's your favorite snack? Are y'all eating Cheetos? Are y'all doing your fruit? Because, hey, one thing we're always complaining about is that we don't have enough time. You have more than enough time right now, don't you? And Monique, I'm on my NutriBurst. Okay, I've been sipping, girl. We're going to talk about this. I'm planning a very special show for my TLC crew. I'm going to tell you, sitting in the house and just being in self-care. I even started another entrepreneur, so you have enough time to do something. Maybe not the things that you're wanting to do, but you have enough time to do something new for yourself, enough time to self-care and reflect. And as I've just been looking at what's going on right now, just seeing people to the point that we're actually wearing masks. You know, that people are running around buying all the cleaning supplies that we felt like toilet paper was our answer. But like many of you, we knew who to call on, right? We know the name of Jesus, right? And even in some situations, even if you haven't talked to him in a little while, you know the name to call. But I just want to encourage somebody, because eventually we're going to get to the point where we can take off the mask, right? We'll be able to take off the mask, and all this cleaning that you're doing internally in your homes right now, I just ask you to do the same thing for your spirit. I'm just seeing this in another way, that God is just encouraging all of us. It's so funny how everything that God has, the enemy wants to make a mockery out of. And we're under a campaign right now that says, Make America Great Again. And we had a man on the earth that thought he had a perfect plan to make America great. But even in all this, I just see God's glory. I just see his hand at work. He has had his arms and love around us to the point to show us who he are, that we're just on the edge. If the air just got a little worse, we wouldn't be able to breathe. So I'm just thankful that it's not to the point that we can't walk outside, that it's not to the point that we're concerned about our air quality. We're right on the edge of all humanity not being here. So I'm so thankful for this storm. I'm so thankful for this and what God is showing me in it. And so I just want everybody to be preparing to take off the mask. Do your internal work. Do what God is leading you and showing you in this time, so that we're not taking just off a mask that we have to go out to the stores and Walmart, because that's really all we could go to, right? You want to hang out, you want to go to Walmart or Kroger or Albertsons. We're so limited. His plan is so perfect. And people have been singing, he's got the whole world in his hand. And he surely has shown his might in this, that something that we can't even see has caused the whole world to shut down, to cause people to be in their home. Make America great. Have you seen people outside walking? Make America great. Our parents at home with their children. Make America great again. How wonderful that is that even through something like this, that we're getting back to some of that greatness. It said one nation under God. That's what our Constitution was built upon. But how far away have we gotten from those words? In God we trust, right? We've gotten so far removed, and so it's just a little reminder for all of us that we are not in control, that he really does have the whole world in his hand, and at any minute, okay? So I just hope that you all are staying encouraged. I see Lilia. Hi, Lily. How are you, Tate? How you doing? Hope all is well. You got to keep going, Tate. You just got to find another medium to continue to do your show. We're not going to stop. We have an opportunity here to build our audience, build our platform, connect with others. So you and the Bad Boy crew, you all have to keep going. If you're looking for some TLC, I am currently a distributor for that as well. We have Moni, who is a workout master. If you want some motivation, if you want to just be encouraged and empowered, you need to connect with her. John, I see that you have joined as well. Thanks so much. I know I owe you a phone call. I've just been working myself internally. And guys, do you know, I did some study. I'm a little bit of a history buff. And someone has sent me some information about influenza. I had no idea that in 1918, there was an epidemic very similar to what we're experiencing now. And over that time, there were a lot of people that were lost. And so some of what we are experiencing is that we were just born at this time. We were born to live in this season to experience what we're experiencing. And so I just encourage everyone to know that this is just a cycle of life, that we are not in control. I hope you use this time to connect with your family, to talk as an educator. If your kids are at home, I just encourage you to really get to know your children. You wouldn't even understand how starved sometimes they are, when they come into a classroom. Hey, Farrah, we're going to come back. We're going to play with that Zoom. So you get some lip gloss on and be ready to come back and power up the people, okay? But there are so many teachers that, we smile. And even this week, I've been pouring, working hard, calling parents, doing everything that I can to get my classes going for my students that are starting next week for dyslexia. So you just know, your teachers, your school districts, that we're feeling the same thing, but we're doing everything we can to support you as parents. Don't feel that you're bothering a teacher. If you have some contact and email, if you have questions, please make sure that you reach out to your teacher. There's lots of resources I'm going to start sending out. I know I have several co-workers who are doing things. If you are not following Tammy Kling, you need to be. Tammy Kling has lived and created the structure of her whole life for her and her children and what we are experiencing today. She is the master homeschooler, and she has even created groups for people like you who are struggling with that math. People like you who are struggling with their reading, trying to help your children with spelling, and I know it looks a little different from when you're in school, but there are so many resources. Build you a community. And I just think that's a wonderful thing that we have teaching back in the home, that children are looking to their parents for knowledge. And you may not have degreed, or you may not have master's and doctor's degree, but you have experience that you can share with your children. You can watch movies and have great discussion. Vocabulary is so important. Have a word of the day in the house. There's so many things that you can do to support your children at home. But before I continue, shout out to Miss Sylvie. Thanks so much for joining. Farrah is getting ready. Miss Dr. Gray, thank you for joining. But as I'm talking, can you all drop a little bit of what you've been doing? What have you been doing to keep yourself busy at home or around the house? What have you been doing to keep yourself positive? Because really right now what we're experiencing is a lack of movement. It's a lack of the freedom that sometimes we so take for granted, you know. And so it's a lot of stimulus at work. It's stimulus that we're used to getting from day to day, and now you're in the house and you're in a confined space. And I've just really been praying for people that may struggle with mental illness, that may struggle with, you know, just their emotions and mental strength at this time. And so if there's people in your life that might need that support, make sure you reach out to them. This is a time for us. It says social distancing. We don't want to become relational distancing. The few times I've had to go out to the store, gloved up, mask, hoodie on, armored up, right? Just to go get some eggs and hunt for some toilet paper and wipes, you know, like everybody's running around. But even as we go into that, you know, it's a psyche, you know, when we really understand and see the reality, you know, of what we're living. So we don't want to have social distancing to the point that we can't relate to each other. You know, normally we're in the store, we might wave at somebody, we might smile. At this point, we're kind of looking at everybody as an enemy. We're required to make sure we're 6 feet away from other people, which is a good social distance unless you have a close relationship with people. But there's even loved ones that we've during this time have chosen or been forced to have to be apart relationally. So, you know, I'm really, that part out of all this is what really concerns me, because with texting, with social media, we're also already so distant. You know, it's hard to even get people to answer their phone or to call you back at times. So I don't want us to enter an age and enter a programming to where we become relational distance through social distancing. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to give out a few shout outs again. There's Marshall Bolton on, Angelo Martinez, thanks for joining. Ed Gray says, salute to the teachers. Farrah Ratcliffe says, hey boo. And she's going to be coming on. Farrah Ratcliffe is, if you want to work out at home, this is the time for you to get your whole life together. I've been working on my skin, the little orange peel that they say, boiling water, and that's supposed to help. I'm telling you, not only does that help your allergies, it helps your skin. Just the steam for the toxins in your skin is a good activity. But Farrah is the master class daily for you to transform your whole body. She's pretty much a partner of mine. She's been on my show twice. She has an amazing story that she's going to relay, and that led her to create DDT Fit. And this is her time, this is her season, because God planted in her many, many years ago about the importance of working out and taking care of your vessel and dropping the weight of life, and that you can work out at home. She's created a whole program with supplements for you to partake, and this is a perfect time for you to connect with her. And so I'm going to let this video stop. We're going to attempt, because I'm determined. When I'm determined to do something, we're going to get it done, right? And so we want to be able to test out without knowing how long this is going to last. We don't want purpose to stop, and so it just forces us to look at different avenues in order to fulfill our purpose and our mission. Okay, so I miss, you know, I love my Thursdays, and I'm also building a program in my page, Southern Girl Speaks. Make sure you go there. I'll put the link at the bottom. I actually have a page. I share a lot of my media pictures there, but I'm really going to use this time to let God develop in me to be bold bold, to be strong, and to speak, because he says, Southern girl, speak. And sometimes people are talking, but when he gives me a word, I am speaking. And so I want to use the words that he gives me to encourage you and empower you to get through your day to day, because the battlefield is in the mind. Any struggle that you're having right now, being at home, is through your emotions and through your mental, okay? As soon as you're able to tap out of your flesh and get into your spirit, because that's what we are anyway. We are all spiritual beings, becomings. And so as soon as you can really die to your flesh and die to how you feel about what's going on and not allow the enemy, he says, cast down every imagination. Think on these things. We're instructed on what to think about. And so as long as we keep our mind and our spirit in alignment with his words, then no weapon formed against you shall prosper, right? You are above and not the beneath. You are the head and not the tail. And so even through this, you just continue to pray over yourself, continue to pray over your family. Of course, take the precautions, but we're not going to live in a spirit of fear. And we're all in agreement that this too shall pass, right? How many storms have you been through already in your life? And when you look back, you know God got me through it, right? A lot of you have been through some really trying times. And so you already know how to make your mental adjustment, because that's what it is. It's a mental adjustment. But through every trial comes something beautiful. Nothing can be created without some of those trials and those storms coming. And so I just really want to encourage you all just to continue in your faith. Continue to speak life into those situations. This is a time that God has given us to restore, to be restored within our spirit, to be restored, to restore our families, to restore your children. Some of your children are running to you and they're just so happy that you're at home, because you're just so busy sometimes doing nothing, but you're just so busy that you don't even have time to live. A lot of people are existing, but they're not living. And so during this quarantine time, whatever term man has given it, receive it as a gift from God, that only he can create the atmosphere to come in alignment where the whole world has to be at home. And I'm so thankful for that. And I hope this word encourages you. So give me a few minutes to set up, and Farrah DDT Fit, and I will be back, because you don't want to go back now. I'm telling you, it is summertime, right? We're getting into spring and summer. We don't know how long this is going to last, but it will pass. And we're all given the same amount of time. And so when this storm passes, when people see you, they're going to see how you spent your time, right? When people run into you after this storm, and people, I've opened another business, I've been writing, networking. What have you been doing with the time that God has given you? Okay, so I'm just going to leave you with that. And thanks again for everybody that joined in, and I will return. Blessings.